Welcome to Dependable Flame, where we explore vintage petrol lighters, ashtrays, tobacconiana, and other useful mechanisms. Make yourself at home.
Today we are going to talk about lighter ephemera, the paperwork that would have come with your vintage petrol lighters when they were new. Paperwork that a lot of people wouldn't have thought anything about throwing away. And it's really a shame because there's a lot of information about these old lighters that we can glean from the paperwork that came along with them or the boxes that they were in. These first couple that we were looking at have been Berkeley lighters. Here we have the paperwork that came with a Thorns single claw semi-automatic petrol lighter, front and back of that paper. You can see that there is a sepia tone to that paper. Definitely old, and that's one thing about all this paperwork that I really don't enjoy, is that a lot of times it has been contaminated with foreign objects, stains, just general filth that you really don't want on a piece of paper that you can't clean. The cool thing about a lot of this paperwork, though, is you see a lot of tips and tricks, like Zippo suggesting that on a newly filled lighter, you run that lighter up in the air, which will flood oxygen into that chimney and disperse some of those fumes that may be causing vapor lock. Wiping a lighter clean of excess fuel, or making sure that you shut the lid to extinguish the lighter, because Zippos do not extinguish themselves. There are fake boxes out there, which is a real issue. Apparently there have been untold numbers of them sold on eBay over the last several years. Zippo pamphlet that has instructions in several languages, along with graphics and illustrations to demonstrate how to put flint in the lighter or to fuel it, just your general maintenance and care. Also, that solid brass Zippos need different care than, say, a chrome-plated or other finishes. You've also got guarantees for many different brands of old petrol lighters. Now, good luck trying to cash in on one of those warranties, because Park Industries or Warco or any number of the other brand name companies that have gone out of business at this point, they are not going to honor those. There's nobody there to honor them. But it's still cool to see that, at least at that point in time, pretty much every lighter manufacturer offered a warranty, even if it was only for a year. Park Sherman, or later Park Industries, had various different boxes. You see these blue boxes that were marked Park Avenue on the end pretty commonly. They also had a gold foil type box that had the Park Avenue logo imprinted on it. A lot of the paperwork is pretty similar. I don't really remember seeing any paperwork from lighters that were produced in Springfield, Illinois, but I'd have to go back and check that. We also have a catalog here from the 1950s that showed you how you could order these products and the different embellishments and engravings and color anodization and various different options that were available for advertisers to order and then to promote their business. So really glad to see that. There's a lot of ashtrays. You can see all this stuff at dependableflame.com/lighter-ephemera. Beatty jet lighters are really getting popular and going up in value, and those always sell for more when they come with the box, the original paperwork, and the authentic jet probe in the glassine envelope that comes in so handy when you have a clogged jet tube. There were at least two, maybe three, several different versions possibly of the Beatty jet box. These are pictures of one that I owned a few years ago. I've owned several of the lighters, probably 20 or so Beatty jets, but only one or two boxes. But the paperwork's really cool, really explanatory. shows you how to actuate the jet flame and all that. So a lot of good information. I think there's value to all this paperwork, even with the lesser brands, because even if I don't put that much value on the actual paperwork, I definitely believe there is value in documenting it so that collectors who may have the lighter but don't have the paperwork, maybe they've got the box but not the pamphlet, maybe the pamphlet but not the box, at least they can look at these things and go, okay, that's the box and paperwork that is supposed to go with that particular lighter. I bought this MCO XXX Junior at an antique vendor mall that I've been to 1,000,000 times. About a year and a half ago is when I bought this lighter, and it had all that paperwork with it. I'd walked into that same booth, I can't tell you how many times, and saw the same lighters time after time. And then there was that lighter at a very affordable price. Some of these lesser known brands have really nice boxes. And that brings me around to a discussion of some paperwork along with a lighter in a box that is currently being offered for sale. It is listed on eBay. Now, I am very interested in this box and the accompanying paperwork. My problem is that the seller is asking about, I think it's $38 plus shipping for it. And that is not the correct lighter to go in that box. I made a couple of offers that I thought were reasonable, and I may even end up messaging the seller and seeing if they're willing to have a discussion about it. But it's very seldom that I am willing or even think about owning paperwork. I buy so many lighters used. But I specialize in collecting vintage Penguin Cygnus roller petrol lighters. And I own 3 of the vintage automatic version of the Cygnus, which any one of those 3 very well could have originally come in a box just like this. I don't know. But there's also so much information that is on this paperwork, including some addresses. You know, there's so much uncertainty and really not any information out there, it seems like, when it comes to vintage petrol lighters that were produced, manufactured in Japan. So I'd really like to own this, but no way am I paying $45 for it. But if there was ever some paperwork for a lighter that made me want to buy it and pay too much for it, it was definitely this paperwork right here. Ronson lighters also typically came in a felt pouch. Zippo has several different variations on their boxes, and there are many websites and also collectors groups, Facebook groups, Zippo addicts, those sort of pages that can help you identify which box, which paperwork belongs. Our buddy Jen Kim here at DependableFlame.com, he's also got all the answers if you have questions about which particular pamphlet or box or whatever variation belongs with this lighter or that. Here's another one for a Dundee lighter advertising Gulf oil. Really cool lighter, and I was really glad to own it with that original paperwork. We've also got images here from the 1954 lighter repair manual that is posted and available to you at DependableFlame.com. So make sure you check out all those links. The 1954 lighter repair manual is a wealth of information. Whether you're repairing a lighter, whether you're just trying to get more information about a particular lighter, there are all kinds of articles, parts that were sold. It's really an enlightening document to take a look at. So make sure you check that out. Until next time.